This is my postnatal routine in which I'm going to do the routine with you in real time, but before that I want to quickly run through about how we can repair the diastasis recti, which is also known as the abdominal split. This occurs during pregnancy, and what I think is a really important thing to do is just quickly look at the abdominal muscles, actually understand what has happened throughout pregnancy, because the more knowledge you have about your abdominals, the easier it is that we get that full repair. This workout is also really good if someone just wants to build a really strong core. As a trainer, I always think it's really important when I'm training clients to teach them about their body, because I think the more knowledge you have how your body works, then the better the results you see with it. So the first thing we want to look at doing here is just really looking at the abdominal structure. So you can see on the top here, we've got the muscle in red. On the left, the separation is slightly smaller. On the right, it's slightly bigger. And that is the muscle that we've got there is called the rectus abdominis. And what happens here is that's the muscle that becomes separated as your baby grows throughout pregnancy. And this is where if we don't repair those abdominals properly, then what happens is those deeper muscles that underline it will end up protruding out of that separation, which means then we can have that tiny little bulge. So what is really important when we're doing any postnatal exercise is that we work the deepest muscle first. And so many people make the mistake of rushing straight into doing sit-ups, and actually when you do a sit-up, what you're doing there is you're engaging the rectus abdominis, that front muscle, the one that's in the deep red, as opposed to actually what we want to be doing is working the muscle in the pink there, which is called the transverse abdominis, which is actually your deepest muscle. It's essential that we build and strengthen that first. Then from there, we start building up, working into the obliques, and then we finish off working the rectus abdominis. But the key thing is with any postnatal exercise is that we work from your deepest muscles inside out, which is what I'm going to do with you within this routine. We're going to do it in real time, and then I suggest you do this workout several times throughout the first 6-7 weeks after you've had your 6-week check to really help re-strengthen that area. So we're going to start the workout now. It's important always before you do this, make sure you have had your all clear from your doctor or your midwife. So the first exercise, we're going to do pelvic tilt. So with this one, you're lying on the ground. You have your palms up, your knees are bent, feet are hip width distance apart, and all we're doing here is we're tilting the pelvic up and then back down. So it's a tiny move. So we lift it up and back. So it's like you're tilting your tailbone up and then slowly back. Keep doing that, and you're going to keep pulling your belly button tight to the spine. So this is working deep into those pelvic floor muscles. So we're going to do that for another 10 seconds. So just keep that really focused. So we tilt the pelvis down, then we slowly tilt that back up. Tilt it down and then back up. Okay, so for the next move, what I want you to do now is you're just going to extend one leg out straight, then you draw that leg back in. What is important is make sure you keep that heel on the ground. You draw it in and back, and focus on keeping that belly button pulled in tight to the spine as you draw the leg in, and also as you extend the leg back out. Keep your palms facing up, tummy is tight. That's good. We're going to keep going on there. So we draw it in, and then we're going to draw that leg back out. Draw it in and then out. So we're just going to do that for another 10 seconds on this leg. Keeping that going, and remember, keep pulling that belly button tight to the spine. So now we're going to work on the opposite leg for 30 seconds. So what this exercise is doing is we are focusing on working that deepest transverse abdominis muscle, the one that I said to you is really important to build and really strengthen that, because that's going to help stop those muscles protruding. What is really important with this one, remember, you've got to keep the heel to the floor, so you extend it out and draw it in. Keep your belly button tight to your spine as you do. We're just going to go another 10 seconds on there. And again, keep those palms facing up. Okay, last few coming up. and just relax. So for this next exercise, you're going to need your cushion. What I want you to do is just place it in between your knees, have your feet flat on your floor and the palms facing up. And all I want you to do is try and press your knees tight together. So what we're doing here is we're activating the inner thighs, the adductors. We're also working into your pelvic floor muscles. So squeeze tight and just imagine you're pulling up those pelvic floor muscles as you do it. Squeeze that really tight. So we're pressing through the thighs, trying to get the knees to touch through the pillow on there. We're going to keep going. We're going to do that for another 10 seconds. So really squeeze tight. So we're trying to press that pillow as tight as we can on there. Squeeze and release. So this is really going to help strengthen through that pelvic floor muscle as well as tone the thighs. So again, just squeeze tight and release. Okay, so the next move, you can remove the pillow. This time now, keep your feet on the ground. I want you to just push your hips up as high as you can. Again, have those palms facing up. So what we're doing now, we're working into the glutes as well as those abs. Push up high, keep that tummy muscle nice and tight for me. Oh no, that's good. And just squeeze. We're just doing a few of these. We're going to go a couple more and lift. Okay, so for this next move, this time, what I want you to do, we're going to work the thighs as well as working the abdominals. Have both legs straight, then bend one leg, draw it up, extend and straighten out. What is really important with this one, that now as you take that leg down, you've got to really make sure you pull that belly button in tight to the spine. We're just going to do that for another 10 seconds. Extend, hold, and now belly button tight to the spine. On there, so we draw that leg in, extend it up, and now again draw those abs in really tight, lift that up and back. Okay, so what we're going to do now, we're going to then do one more. So for the next move, we're going to come onto all fours, and what I want you to do, we're going to just start by extending one arm in front, then the opposite arm. It is important we keep the tummy pulled in tight, so we lift one arm and then the opposite arm. And now we're going to change that, so we're just going to take the leg away and come back, and then take the opposite leg away, and then just take that to the opposite leg. Again, keep the tummy pulled in nice and tight. And now what we're going to do, we're going to add taking both the arm and the leg away. Again, it's really important here we keep that belly button really tight to the spine. So working through that transverse abdominis there, stabilizing those muscles. Extend. Well done. So now we're going to come back onto the floor, and this time we're going to work the opposite leg. So remember this one, both legs straight, then you're going to bend, extend the leg, and then straighten that leg back down. So the key thing here is you are consistently pulling the belly button in tight to the spine. So we're really working deep into that transverse abdominal muscle, and extend the leg up, slowly lower back down. So again, tummy tight, bend, straighten, lower the leg down to the ground. Bend it, and then straighten and lower back to the ground. And let's go last one. Well done. So that is now your postnatal abdominal exercise routine completed. It is important always, just kind of, don't jump up, just take some time to chill out after you've done that workout. And remember, this is really seriously good to help resolve if you've got any abdominal separation. It's also a really good way to help strengthen through your core muscles and really work on that. Make sure you get that separation drawn back in, and what that routine has done is it has completely worked those deeper abdominal muscles. And if you've got any comments, please let me know in the comments box below. I hope this video was helpful. If you liked it, please share it and give it a thumbs up.